Today, I'm going to share with you how to stop overthinking on the LSAT to get a top score. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. I got an email from a student here who writes, "Hi Steve, I majored in philosophy in college and thought my background would help with the LSAT, but I'm struggling with logical reasoning. I tend to overcomplicate questions and overthink answer choices. My score is stuck around a 160, but I need at least a 172. I've taken multiple prep courses, but they don't seem to address my specific issues. How can I adjust my approach to better align my philosophy background with the LSAT's reasoning?" Great question here. I love it. Philosophy majors tend to actually do really well on the LSAT, which is not surprising because the people who write LSAT questions have PhDs in philosophy. That being said, you definitely don't want to overthink questions on the LSAT. You don't want to try and fit a square peg into a round hole. And I see a lot of highly intelligent students trying to force answer choices where they just don't fit. No matter how much you try to cram it in, you can't turn a wrong choice into a right choice. And there are some strategies that we can employ to help you stop doing this. One thing you want to think about is the time constraint on the LSAT. You have to work on your pacing because it's not just about getting the questions right. It's about getting them right under test day conditions. And if you start doing more timed work, you won't have the time to overthink questions and you'll be more inclined to go with your gut. You also want to use the order of difficulty in logical reasoning to your advantage. The first 10 questions are relatively easier. You want to get through them at a faster pace to build up a time bank for the tougher ones that truly need it. It's always strange to me, but not surprising, that a student in the 160s will sometimes get easy questions wrong just because they think to themselves, that can't possibly be the right answer. It's just too easy. On an easy question, the right answer should be easy. On tougher questions, of course, there are really clever, tempting wrong answers that require a little more time to disentangle and better understand. But on the easy questions, you want to trust your gut. You also want to get into the habit of limiting yourself only to the information in the stimulus, nothing beyond there. Don't bring in any outside information or outside assumptions. The LSAT allows you to bring in common sense reasoning, like the order of the days of the week, for example, or that water is wet. But beyond that, you don't want to make unreasonable assumptions, like assuming that a smoker would be against banning smoking in public places. That seems maybe counterintuitive, but it's entirely possible that a smoker could be in favor of banning smoking in public places. This is one of my favorite LSAT questions, by the way. Google it if you want to give it a shot. I would recommend in your situation that you focus a lot on the review process since you already have a pretty solid foundation. If you're scoring 160 or above, you're already proficient in the different questions, the different approaches for each question type. You want to focus a lot more now on the method of reasoning in the stimulus and the patterns in the questions that you're getting wrong and having difficulty with. And so you want to engage in a process like the Socratic review method, where you look in depth at your mistakes, wherever they're stemming from, whether it's in the stimulus, the question stem, or the answer choices, patterns in tempting wrong answers, unappealing right answers. You want to look specifically at what makes the wrong answer choices tempting and what ultimately makes them wrong, and what makes the right answer choices unappealing and what ultimately makes them correct. Because you have these patterns of encouragement towards the wrong answer and traps of discouragement away from the right answer. And until you know which tricks and traps you personally are uniquely prone to falling for, you may just end up making the same mistakes again. Now, for every question you get wrong or have difficulty with, you engage in this process, whether it's with a coach or a tutor or a study buddy, or even alone in a mistake log or journal. It can be really helpful to get this review process out of your head and get it documented in some way, either spoken or written down. Because if you're just looking at explanations, it's far too easy to look at the answer choice, look at the explanation and say, "Oh, I get it now. How could I have been so dumb?" And then move on to the next one. But when you're talking it out with somebody, you can really highlight those key takeaways, those key insights, and if you document them in a journal, you'll be able to return to it frequently and better solidify those lessons learned. Now, if you'd like my help with this, I'd be glad to support you. At LSAT Unplugged, we offer private one-on-one coaching sessions on a consistent basis from now through your LSAT test date. You'll be able to book those sessions directly on your coach's calendar at the time that's best for you. My coaches have all scored a 170 or above on their official LSATs, and they're proficient and trained in my methods, like the Socratic review method, helping you better pinpoint your weak areas, helping you find more efficient approaches, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And so having some expert guidance from someone who's been through the process can make your journey that much smoother. If you're interested in finding out more, you can check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And I would recommend considering one-on-one support at this point in your process because you're already scoring significantly better than the vast majority of students and you're looking for a top LSAT score. And so what you're going to need at this point is an approach that's a bit more personalized to your unique situation. You also want to make sure that you have a structured day-by-day study plan laying out exactly what to do from now through test day, moving you beyond drilling questions by type, focusing a lot more on timed work and full-length practice tests because, as I said, you're at the stage now where you already have the foundation, and working in a timed setting will allow you to better avoid the problem of overthinking and constrain you or limit you to focus on getting the questions right within the time allotted. Again, if you'd like my support, links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.